Okay.
Welcome
So we can.
to episode 52. The 1 year.
Hey.
God
the 1
damn.
year.
No problems.
It's seriously, Fluff. If the intro isn't screwed up every episode,
It's
not a real
ridiculous.
episode.
I never change anything, but every week it's just like it's fucked. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
But yeah, obviously we have
Last week we
Quinn69.
didn't have any straw poll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously this week we have Quinn69, the godfather of Diablo. Not the face. I'm the face, but he's the godfather. But
Godfather. Isn't Crip the Godfather? I don't. Wait, what? I'm just confused.
I mean,
now.
Crip.
Crip's the Godfather.
Vanilla Diablo, but no ROS. I don't know, dude.
Okay, yeah, Godfather of Reaper Souls. I'll take that, man.
Okay, there you go. But yeah, so last week we kind of dropped the ball and didn't ask a question, but we got a new one for this week. In case, I don't know how up to date you keep on Diablo, but like 2 weeks ago, they finally told us why they can't add more stash space. So they
why can't they add them?
Right.
What's the deal?
So they keep every item, like for your character, every item that's in your stash, every item that's on your character, everything in memory
For your entire party.
for your entire party.
Well, wait, seriously?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Can't they just fix that?
No, that would be
Just
mess.
change the code, bro.
Yeah.
Just edit the code.
Sure.
Just like you're the code guy. Just
I
change
know,
the code.
right? But so basically, they were going to add 5 more stash tabs like this coming season that starts this Friday, and then it became like, well, we're going to add one every season, like after you finish the conquest, and then just with this recent patch, they're just going to add one. Like that's all they're going to do.
Yeah.
So they were going to add 5, but they're just adding 1.
Right, because they just decided like
Okay.
it's too fucked. Like it's too much shit in memory. So the question for this week, based on that, is pull it up. Stash pace. Pick your poison. Okay, so you got options. 1, keep it in memory and give me more. Fuck it, I don't care about performance. 2, add more stash, but you have to wait 20 seconds anytime you click your stash. 3, overhaul how the stash works so we can have more at the cost of no new content for 3 seasons. And 4, who the hell needs more stash? It's fine. So we'll spam this in chat. You guys can vote on it. What would you pick? Just out of curiosity. Quinn?
Was spamming in chat so I can fucking bring it up. There we go. I mean, there was one cooked one, which was like no content for 3 seasons.
Right.
I mean, but there is no content anyway. So
Wow.
No, I'm just
Already.
joking. They're doing stuff, right? They're doing
Yeah,
good.
yeah, we're doing some stuff.
I mean, some stuff.
I mean, I got a big computer, so I mean, just keep it in the memory, mate. I don't care. I mean, I have 64 gigs of RAM, so like they can keep it in the memory. It's fine.
I don't know that any computer out there could handle like 4-party more stash.
It's just a code, like a little item code. Like, what is this? Like a string of text?
Yeah, you just delete it.
Probably their
Just-
engine is breaking, you know?
Just put it in the
But-
memory.
Sure. That seems fair. But yeah, vote on that, guys. We'll talk about the kind of results next week. But first and foremost, I want to knock out. There's a clip circulating on the internet, specifically about you, Quinn, and it was you mentioning that you were invited by the Diablo team to go to BlizzCon.
Yeah. Wait. What? Did that get clipped?
Oh my God,
Clip.
it got clipped, and it was like the top clip on Reddit for Diablo. Conspiracy, tinfoil hats.
Shit. Wait,
It's
that's
like
a thing.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just mentioning it at the start of my stream. I just mentioned that I got it, like, and they put it on Reddit.
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh my god, the Blizzard guys are gonna hate me. They're gonna, why would you clip it and put it on Reddit?
I didn't clip
it. What the?
Yeah. But so it's just like, yeah, you said I was invited by a Diablo team, go to BlizzCon. Can you tell us anything more about that? First of all.
Let me see.
Sure.
Let's see. I'm just gonna double check the email. It doesn't have.
Right.
Like, yeah, please.
Just make sure it doesn't have any sort of.
P.S.
NDA,
Don't
so
tell
just-
anyone we invited you. Oops.
Let's
Right.
see. Yeah. So I'm reading it now. It says in all caps, "Please do not share the link with anyone." But it doesn't say don't share. It doesn't say don't share.
The
I don't know.
link.
It just says specifically. It just specifically says the Diablo team has extended an invitation to you. Let me see. We're here trying to get a little ahead of the media credential process this year. I wanted to let you know that the Diablo publishing team would like to extend an invitation for you to attend BlizzCon with a media badge. It's like a gigantic email,
Yeah.
but it's specifically the Diablo team reaching out and just saying, yeah, we'll hook you up to BlizzCon.
Nice.
I don't even know I'm going to go. I don't know I'm going to go because part of ExileCon.
This is like a week after, right?
ExileCon is like 10 days after that, so it would mean I have to take like a week off, and then I have to take another week off, and it's like 2 weeks off streaming the same month, sort of thing. And I'm going into surgery like in a week from now, so it's going to be like all in this kind of taking
Tight
like
window.
Sure.
a month off or something, which is insane, right? Streaming wise.
Right. So, I mean, obviously,
Well, if it looks like Diablo, they're doing something. I mean,
So yeah, I mean, hypothetically, this is what the internet thinks. You know, they clip
Sure.
this and they think, oh, well, if they're inviting Quinn, it's got to be Diablo 4. Got to be Diablo 4.
you remember they invited me to Gamescom, right? And
They
they
did.
basically insinuated that it was it's some sort of either an expansion or a new game release, right? I don't know if they had something and they would because I could go through the emails, but actually they talk about NDAs, and they forced me to sign an NDA, and it was like if they wanted to basically they would if I accepted, I was able to sign an NDA and they would tell me stuff, and then they pretty much just said, yeah, no, there's nothing, but there might be something at Gamescom. But you've signed the NDA now. We've got your. I basically got debated. I got debated by Blizzard.
so like everyone on the internet seems to think obviously Diablo 4, but I tend to think that, you know, it's probably just more Diablo Immortal, because I think if one thing you've been very clear is that like you're probably going to try it, right?
Why would they? No, but why would they invite me?
Because you're like one of the
check out
biggest,
Diablo
you know, influencers for Diablo.
Bro, there's like videos. I've made videos like
Shitting on it?
Blizzard, just absolutely shitting on it. Like my latest 2 Diablo videos are just complete. It's not hate, but it's just
Sure.
talking about how fucking stupid Blizzard are, right? And with this whole Diablo Immortal and like announcing it as their main thing. I mean, you know, obviously you were there, and everyone's talked about it a million times.
Right.
You get the idea. It was basically videos completely smearing it. So why they would think to invite me to BlizzCon for Diablo Immortal would just be insane.
But you have at the same time you've been not necessarily negative about it since then, but you've been like pretty open, like, yeah, I'm gonna try it, like probably.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've kind of accepted that it's happening now. You know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have like just like, well, we're not.
They're kind of
Something Diablo related is coming out. Like I'm gonna play it, right?
Sure.
And even if it's just to, like completely shit on it, I'm not gonna accept any sponsors from Blizzard. Like if they try and pay me,
Sure.
Because then it won't be. It'll be like conflict. They make you sign contracts where you can't like
Shit
explicitly
on the
say
game,
certain
right.
things. Yeah, so I want to be able to shit on the game while I'm playing it, but you know,
Right.
hopefully that won't. I don't think it's gonna be any way I'm not gonna shit on it, but maybe it'll be okay mobile game. We'll have
Right.
to see.
Yeah.
You think that they actually think their product's good enough that they can convince you it's not garbage? And that's the only thing.
Oh,
I
they're
can think of.
cooked. They're cooked
Yeah.
if they think that.
They
Like,
thought their
actually-
product was good enough to carry at BlizzCon. Mm-hmm. So
But surely Wyatt must know now. But because Wyatt I noticed is because I follow watching on Twitter,
sure.
and he had been sending stuff out. Like people have been asking, like, when's Diablo Immortal coming out? When's like I saw this Crypt talking about it. Apparently, Diablo Immortal the game is finished. Like it's and the Chinese company's like, what the hell? Why isn't it?
Yeah.
But this, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this is all hearsay or there's
Sure.
actually any like validity to it. But pretty much they're saying it's finished. Why is it not out yet? And if you look at Caldesian's Twitter, or White Chang's Twitter, he's quite dismissive about it and just doesn't say like why isn't it out yet? We heard about it at BlizzCon. It's like been ages. It's clearly finished. When are they announcing it? Like, well, what are they doing? Are they so scared like that it's gonna just? Are they trying to wait for like the negativity to blow away, or like what are they doing?
They're just waiting.
I don't know.
for the right moment.
Do you have any information?
I don't. I mean, I don't necessarily like pry my sources, but yeah, it seems like for the most part, coding has been completed on it, and they're just kind of just trying to decide on certain systems, I guess. But
Oh, so you think it's not finished?
When and how to launch?
I think it's like as far as what the China company has done is finished, but I think that like Blizzard's probably in charge of polishing it and like putting the finishing touches on it. So I'd say it's not quite done, but I don't fucking know. But so you think after this clip, let me just play it for reference in case you were living under a rock and you haven't seen it. Quinn reacting to Diablo Immortal being announced. You can't hear Wyatt in the background, but you can obviously hear Quinn's reaction.
No! 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 Why are you playing that?
So you think after that they wouldn't ask you to play Diablo Immortal at BlizzCon?
I mean, that was like my hopes and dreams dying, bro. Like,
Yeah, dude, I'm there with you.
Well, all of us,
Like-
right?
Yeah.
That was the worst feeling ever. That realization of like, this isn't a joke. This isn't a meme. This is happening.
Right.
But that's the thing. I mean, yeah, you can watch my videos that I've made, and that's like after I've had time to think about it.
Yeah,
I've sat down
for
and
sure.
like, okay, and I've just gone out and lampooned the shit out of Blizzard. I just don't think that they would ever consider me to be an influencer that's viable, you know, for streaming Diablo Immortal at BlizzCon. So I don't think they would ever exclusively invite me to do that, unless they're completely delusional. Which, I mean, to be honest, it wouldn't be that surprising, I guess.
Right.
But I mean, Crip would be I reckon Crip's gonna be the face of Diablo Immortal, because if you
he
saw
does
any
love
of
mobile
Crip's
games,
content-
right?
Yeah, he talked about how he loves mobile games and he's super excited for Diablo Immortal, and like he made a full-on video about it. And so I mean, they've got their spokesman right there, I reckon.
Right. I don't know. What do you tend to think, P? You haven't said anything.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm just enjoying Quinn's reaction to it because, like I said, we were there live,
Yeah.
and we were just like Quinn, man. When they said it, they crushed us. I
Yeah.
mean, we have video footage. I recorded our faces.
Sure.
So
I saw
Insane.
that, right? When everyone looked dejected and depressed. It was just
I've never
good
like
feeling.
we were walking out of BlizzCon and we heard people like I heard a lady talking to her boyfriend, and these are just people that bought tickets, just fans of Blizzard. And she's like, "Why the fuck would I ever play Diablo on my mobile phone?" Like she said this, and I heard this like 15 times just walking out of the building. It was insane. So I don't think it's Immortal. I don't think they're crazy enough to do that. Like I'm with the rest of the internet. If they're inviting Quinn there, they got something else up their sleeve, is my opinion. I hope so.
It could just be a generic. The thing is, like, I don't know. You'd have to talk to other content creators, and have you talked to Riker? Riker, I assume he'd be in the same wave of emails. And then if you talk to like the other influencers that get invited, and see if everyone got the same email, because I mean,
Sure.
we're
kind of out of
it was
the,
just sent
the
out to
circle,
everyone.
I guess, if you
Yeah.
will.
Wait,
I'm
did you get
associated
invited
with
last
Fluff,
time?
and
No!
he's the boo guy, so they hate us for sure.
They really don't like us. So.
Oh, true. You're the guy who made everyone boo at Wyatt. Wyatt must fucking hate
I
you.
didn't make people boo. He made
You made
people
them boo, dude. You.
Fluff's
That's an
you
fault.
asked
honest
a question.
Golly. Anyway,
Oh my god.
Fluff's fault.
moving
I
on.
don't know. Let's talk about. So, have you kept up with the patches at all, Quinn? Like, do you follow Diablo 3 stuff whatsoever, or a little bit? or no?
I had a brief look at like the patch notes that came out a few months ago, and it was like the set's buffed by like 10,000% or something.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I don't know. They added some beams to some shit.
Red beam,
but
primal
I
beam.
really was. I just glanced over it, face palmed, and then just continued playing Path of Exile.
Yeah. And so you
I'm
knew,
not trying-
go ahead.
I'm not trying to shit on Diablo, right?
Yeah,
It's just
sure.
like I'm looking for significant changes to the end game. Like anything that is not that, like I don't care. They can add in all the quality of life they want. It's just really not going to fix the game. I mean,
Sure.
to make it slightly more bearable to play, but it's not going to fix the game. So it's one of those things where I'm just waiting for like, oh, we're redesigning some of these in-game mechanics and we're adding in some new shit. Like at that point, then I'm going to be like, oh,
Sure.
okay.
I think that yeah, the most positive thing to come from this most recent patch is that they're adding damage modifiers to like old items that have been just like garbage, for like the longest time.
Oh, really? Is there a new patch?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
oh,
it just
okay.
hit today, actually.
Yeah, it just hit
Is
today.
it,
to
is it
live.
like is Shout of Hate usable?
No. No.
What about what about Thunder Fury, Blissblade, or the Windseeker?
Nothing with like procs, but like
Oh,
stuff
this is
that's
terrible patch.
build
This is an
focused.
awful patch. Then what? Are you kidding me? Those are like the coolest.
What? The
That's the
procs?
coolest
I'm with
items,
you on.
man.
I'm with you on
Man.
Thunder
Proc
Fury.
items,
I'm
dude.
with
I
you on
love
Thunder Fury.
those. Like a proc.
But see, that's
proc items
because
are the best items.
we played WoW, Quinn. That's why we like Thunder Fury. At least that's why I like Thunder Fury.
Well, I like Thunder Fury just because of the procs. I mean, I didn't play vanilla, so.
Oh, okay. All right.
I
So,
mean,
though.
I'm not a big fan of procs because like having a chance to do more damage, like, ooh, I'd like consistent damage.
It's just dumb that all these cool items exist and they're completely irrelevant, right? Like
for
'cause of
sure.
damage multipliers.
But I think that they're starting to realize that and starting to add, like I said, damage modifiers to like, DOD used to be like a big build and like it just fell.
DOD, what's that one?
Dagger of Darts for Witch Doctor.
Oh yeah. It's what's the little dudes that
Yeah,
shoot darts?
exactly.
Insane.
But that fell off. That's the problem. Like historical Diablos, like they would buff sets or certain builds, and then all the other builds that were playable would basically just like fall off the planet and just like become non-usable. So they've at least started resuscitating a lot of those, and even adding damage modifiers to stuff that didn't have it before. Like the Rapid Fire Sinseeker now has a damage modifier, so like Rapid Fire is going to be a thing now, which is interesting. But you'll notice, obviously, since BlizzCon, there's been like way more Diablo 3 content than there has been in a really long time. Like probably since you played Diablo, like consistently. And we're actually getting
more
like
content that they actually are doing. I mean, is it just patches that I don't know? Because the patch that I saw just didn't look that substantial. But maybe I just looked over it too fast.
Sure. I mean, like, so yeah, that was kind of the big
like,
meme. Is like they're adding zeros. But it was like I feel like it was an attempt to balance, like, because you would push with one set basically every season, like be one set at the top of the leaderboard, and that was like really shitty feeling.
Like with Path of Exile, for example, because the game's not focused on like pushing like indefinitely scaling, rifts. There's like a shit ton of viable builds. That's because this is more about like speed, because all the content's kind of trivial,
right?
And it's almost like they just need to make all or like most sets be able to farm the torment stuff, and then maybe have multiple Greater Rift leaderboards, say for like a leaderboard for each set. And then it'd be like at least a subcategory where you can look at the different leaderboards for those sets. So you could basically push those sets, even though it's like, because really, what's the difference? It's just a number change, right?
Right.
Like 117 versus 125. It doesn't. Who cares? The gameplay is what matters.
Right. 100%. So do you think that this is kind of like all these changes are just kind of like too little, too late for Diablo?
I think it's pointless, right? Like unless they're like making changes, like adding in subcategories to leaderboards, like that. Cause that was like that's like superficial content, right? That's like now I can, instead of just playing some Wukong monk, I can now play I can push with all different sets and try and defend like every subcategory of the leaderboard, say. But they're not. It's just slight balancing changes and things, which just to me, it's just not really that interesting.
Sure. So
I'm in the same boat to an extent. I think that they need more substantial content to get people to come back, but I don't know how they can add content to the game in its current state and not break what they already have.
PoE does it every patch, like literally every patch. Like all they have to do is add just like organic other things to do that's not Greater Rifts, just like PoE literally does every fucking patch.
Just other forms of Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't need Greater Rifts don't need to be the sole focus of the game. Like they could just do Greater Rifts. Like you can do, I don't know, give you a bonus for doing a Greater Rift every day or something, and then various other things.
Sure.
But right now, like what have you got? You got bounties, Greater Rifts, normal rifts. You got farming, Hellfire, necklaces and things.
And challenge rifts, I guess.
And the story mode, and then the random like transmog farming challenges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But outside of it's really. You can do all that so fast, and I don't want to just turn into a big bitching session about Diablo 3.
Right, sure.
But the gifts, man, the gifts. What are they still doing those?
Yeah, but honestly, we talk about this a lot. Is like the gifts. It's ridiculous. Like just giving people gear for like no reason, and then boom, you jump to T13, no problem. But like honestly, like it didn't take that long before that. It's just when you finally get a set together, there's no progression. It's just like instantly you're up like 10 fucking tiers. So it's like
But at least that takes you a few days,
Sure.
or like if you're going really ham, like 24 hours or something, or if you're group stacking, it takes you a while to get a full set, and that's like it's so fucking pog getting the different progressing through, and like I guess there's a lot of RNG and luck to it, but it's exciting,
right?
And then just taking that away and just doing this gift which people can complete, and they're like, oh well, I finished my season for today, and they're like 12 hours. They've been playing for 12 hours, and they're like they've already finished, and then they're done.
It is crazy.
Is that what they want Diablo to be?
I guess.
I don't know.
I feel like there's two crowds in Diablo, and maybe you agree. There's one crowd that's like they're just very casual. They can play like 1 hour, 2 hours a night, and Diablo's a great game for those people. Or you're like hyper competitive. You want to like push the leaderboards and like beat everybody else, and you don't really get a lot outside of those two groups.
feel like you have people who kind of they work full time, but they still play a lot of Diablo. I don't know if they'd be counted as hyper competitive or casual. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you are right. There are a lot of I'd say the majority of people are probably just the casuals,
Right.
right? And I guess that's who they're targeting, right? Like you saw Wyatt tweet out. I mean, I just get triggered by his Twitter. He's like, "Oh, what are you guys doing for your new season? I'm gonna get the full free set, and then I'm gonna do my Everest achievement or something like that." And then, and he's talking about a season, and that's literally the entire Diablo season like summed up in a sentence, which is like that's what it is for most people.
Right.
And just, I don't know. I feel like it'd be so much more than that. It's almost like they need to redesign the end game in terms of because maybe sets are just bad. Like, what do you guys think about just deleting sets from the game, just straight up?
I don't think that. Okay, so like sets aren't that innovative. I think Necro proved that like it's 2-piece do something weird, 4-piece mitigation, 6-piece damage modifier. Like they can just add way more sets to the game. I think Diablo 3 is very much a set game. Like I don't think that there's escape from that.
Take a lot of redesign to get to get away from sets.
Because even Legacy Nightmare builds, like they play like sets. I mean, it's like there's
people are going to squeeze the meta
slot,
out of whatever it is, and they're going to figure it out. What do you think about Paragon, Quinn? Like, do you think they should cap Paragon? Do you like the open system?
I do not like the way Paragon's scale in Diablo at all. I think it's so dumb that you just linearly farm it and you just keep going up and up and up.
Right.
So like these guys have just been playing more, just have like an obscene advantage. I mean, I'm okay for there be a Paragon system to exist, but I feel like it should. I mean, I don't know what the most rewarding way of making it, but
you guys played
100%.
WoW. Like, how are artifact weapons? That was kind of like Paragon.
Oh, they were awful.
They were
awful.
Yeah,
absolutely awful. So it's basically if you don't have a choice. So the major problem with Paragon is the fact that you can farm it forever. So if you indefinitely play the game, you just get +5, +5, +5, and then you turn into Gaby, and you're just like you just face tank everything, and you just do infinite damage. And the fact that there's no choice, so you're not like, oh, I'm gonna go life regen over maximum life, or you're not picking or making a choice. You're just like, oh, just tick all the boxes, and which is just a massive failure in my opinion.
Right.
Like it should be like you should not be able to get everything for starters. Like the whole Paragon system needs to be redesigned. It shouldn't be infinite, and it should make you choose, like make a hard choice, and to further distinguish your build and like specialize your build that you're making. Like, do you want it like fast with high damage, slow and tanky? Do you want to like, But that's just not the thing. You just like literally tick the boxes,
Right.
just like you tick the season boxes, and you're done.
So Paragon in general, you're kind of okay, like continually progressing your character even after like your max level. Like that's a good thing.
I don't think power gains. I mean, I wouldn't mind if Paragons after like 1,000 just started going into like Magic Find or something like that, like some non-combat stat which did not improve your character's capability.
Right.
Yeah, like I don't know, like a Magic anything, like something that's still like good to get and nice to have, so you don't feel like you're just progressing for no reason. Like I mean, I reckon if more loot drops, right? Like a loot drop multiplier.
Sure.
Like that, I'd be totally fine with that. So the higher you go, the more loot drops, and that means there's like you got a system that would basically, it's like redundancy for people not getting good gear when they've been playing the game for like however long. So I know that used to happen, right? Where you don't have like your ancient weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be fine with that.
Right on. But speaking of experience, this is something that we have disagreed on, but XP loss on death. What are your...
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
What's your reasoning behind that?
It's just nice to have a penalty when you die. Like it makes things so much more... I guess you're more invested in your character because you don't want to just die. So you're incentivized to make a character at a certain base level where you're not just playing some gimmicky glass cannon bullshit. If you wanted to play a gimmicky glass cannon character, you could, but it's one of those things where you would have to be really good and not make any mistakes.
But do you not feel like that kind of pigeonholes players, like of all skill gaps, to like maybe play tankier builds than like maybe branching out?
Tankier builds? What depends what you mean though. Like, you played Path of Exile, right?
Yeah.
There's XP loss on death in that game, and do you think people are pigeonholed with their builds?
I think that it, like, you have to, like, you want to not die. Like, I remember, like, so I played a lot of builds that were very squishy and, very fun, but very squishy. And then I played, like, for the first time, like, the Bane Soul Run, which is just, like, a trickster, like which is a god, you know, like it just never dies, and like that felt way better. Like I wouldn't go back to playing a squishy build after like never dying and not even trying.
That means you can appreciate. That means you can appreciate it. Then I mean, you can appreciate the niceties of playing a tank build. I mean, I feel like that's a risk. It's a risk reward, and it's like this whole thing where it's there's more pressure. I guess it does make the game a little bit more stressful, but
Sure.
it kind of makes things more satisfying. Because when you kill Uber it's like you either do it when you have no experience, so you don't lose anything when you die,
Right.
because you
Which
can
is usually
calculate it.
what-
I mean, yeah, or you can be like, I'm not gonna die to this boss, and then when you kill it without dying, it feels fucking good, because you know there was a risk of losing your experience and you didn't. And I feel like that would. I mean, it'd be good for Diablo, but it's kind of hard to do with Paragons because
Right.
the way they work. Like, do you like D-level? Because losing, like,
That'd be
like
yeah.
how would they do it?
You get
They
a
have
tongue
to,
lasher map
just-
and you're de-leveled 10 levels.
Well, maybe every death you just lose like one. Maybe every death you lose one Paragon or something like that. I don't know. It'd be pretty.
I mean,
That'd be
It could
pretty
be
fun.
days at those high levels.
that feel like I think it works better in Path of Exile because like Path of Exile, you're gonna play. Say you can play for 2 hours. You're gonna get currency, and currency helps you progress your character. Whereas in Diablo, like you get currency, but like past a certain point, it doesn't really help you that much. So like it would work less well in Diablo, in my opinion, because
I think that definitely. I think you're right with that. It's not as. It's still better though. I like a penalty for dying. I think it's still better than no penalty.
Well,
'Cause
it's-
if there's
you-
no penalty, then
there
it's
is a
like you
penalty
see these
for-
spurgy builds.
it is penalty
No,
for
but
dying.
dude, I played these awful. You lose your pulls of reflection, right? Which is
Yeah.
kind of annoying.
Right.
But like, I've played these awful builds where you're pushing the leaderboards in a monk, and you literally get hit by a single hit, like anything hits you, like a single mob hits you, and you just die. Otherwise, you have to like permanently stun everything, or like use the what are those braces called that like when things are stunned that just gives you damage reduction?
Parthens.
Yeah, Ancient Paladin Defenders, that's the one. Yeah, okay, those things. It's just I don't like that. I like having builds that have a certain level of toughness. And I feel like if you have like an incentive, you're incentivized to like make a character that's tanky enough to survive most of the time. Then that's nice, and it gets rid of those gimmicky builds that are just not fun to play.
Right on.
Unless you like dying all the time. I mean, then I guess it's fun.
I mean, like you die in a GR, like okay, yeah, you lose your pools of reflection, but you also like lose time, which isn't great. You don't want to do that. So there's penalties there, and I think like in a game, especially like Diablo, where you're kind of catering towards either casual or really hardcore, like mostly casual audience. Like playing, say you get on for 2 hours, and I know that PoE's got to lose players based on this, but you get on for 2 hours and then like you die, and then your whole night is like deleted, like you're canceled out. Yes, you got currency, but a lot of players don't see that as like, oh, well, it wasn't for nothing, and that's just like,
Don't die. That's good. That's good, dude. That means you basically made you either made you basically made a mistake, right? And you're
Maybe.
gonna feel it's one of the things. It's like
so every time you died in
hardcore,
PoE,
when
it
you
was
play-
something you could control 100%.
No, not at all. There's lots of RNG bullshit that can happen in PoE.
Right.
But you gotta understand, I play both softcore and hardcore PoE.
Sure.
And like hardcore is like the extreme version of when you die, you lose something.
Right.
And the highs are so much higher when you're playing hardcore, and the lows are so much lower, right? Because when you die, it's like it's this terrible, like gut sinking feeling, right? Well,
Sure.
like your character dying, and it feels fucking awful, man. But then when when you're progressing and you're getting content down, it feels so much better. And I feel like when there's a penalty for dying, it's like a lesser version of that. So it just makes the highs higher and the lows lower. But I think overall a more engaging experience. Which is why
agree a little
the Path of Exile guys do it, right? Because I don't know if you know Chris, but he's got a clue,
Sure, for sure. I also don't think that PoE necessarily like is like obviously want to bring in more players, but they definitely don't cater their game to like any casuals whatsoever. Like, was it 95% of the players like quit before they even make it to Act 1 boss or something like crazy, based on the population that they've had?
Yeah, I heard there was some insane shit like that. Like the labyrinth is like a top percentile. People who complete lab are like in the top like 0.1. I don't know. There's some insane statistic like that, right?
Right. So I
But that's okay, right?
Sure.
The thing is that they're catering to a niche audience, which is like
it's working. Yeah, 100%. So
I feel like that ARPGs they're never going to be mainstream. It's never going to be Fortnite. So why don't Blizzard just continue what they're doing and make like a premium ARPG, and
Right.
not just try and make it all casual Wayfinder like easy mode, have a free set kind of bullshit. Like I just think they need to move away from that because that's what they've done. They've just I don't know.
Right.
They're just systematically ruined their game. Well, that's the way I see it anyway.
So
It used to be a little bit more hardcore.
of all of these games that you've been playing, though, you've played a lot of RPGs, obviously. Like, what elements do you think would work in a Diablo 4, and what do not? I know it's a broad question.
Oh man,
Would you like to see
what
it
elements
more?
do I think?
Yeah.
Okay. It's really hard to say. I mean, I honestly think that there's a dream game, like somewhere in between Path of Exile and Diablo 3, where like PoE is like this hardcore. They kind of go extreme with like all the systems, and they're like way too deep in terms of the fact that it's like overwhelming amounts of content. Like if you don't understand all the old league mechanics and all these systems, you're gonna go in and you're gonna be like, I didn't know about half these things you had to do.
Right.
And if they were to streamline and optimize that, kind of get all these systems, still have like lots of features and lots of things you could do, but then also kind of like, I guess not dumb it down, but make it easier to understand, and have some sort of game that's somewhere in between, like not as casual as Diablo 3, but not as hardcore as Path of Exile, and basically have a game that has smooth, silky gameplay with like engaging in-game gameplay and stuff like that. I don't know.
Where would you
But
rate?
it's hard. Specifically, what features? I don't know.
Right. Where would you rate like Lost Ark PVE?
Lost Ark PvE.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of felt like a scuffed MMO in terms of the fact that you just kind of go into town and there was like a bounty board and you would just kind of zone into these different
Sure.
encounters.
Yeah.
And there's things to do in it, but it kind of, I don't know. I would rate it pretty low.
The combat.
The actual combat.
Yeah.
Combat was okay, but I didn't like the animation times. It just felt way too slow and sluggy. Like, you know, like you had to commit to these like really long combos and stuff to do damage.
High risk, high reward kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying, right? Yeah, you had to like, okay, I have a window of opportunity here. Like, can I get off my big attack, sort of thing.
Right.
But I'm not a huge fan of that. I like just spurg it out and like just reactively playing, I guess.
Right. So, do you think like NA would take to Lost Ark based on what you played?
I think it's like it'll be kind of like one of those things that if it does come out like before any sort of major ARPG hits the, you know, like there's no D4 or anything.
Right.
I think it'll pop off for a bit, but I don't think it's got the replayability to keep people engaged. It's just, and honestly, like there's a lot. I mean, if you played it,
Yeah.
I mean you're playing it, right? So
Yeah.
the interface is just, it kind of feels like a glorified mobile game
Really?
with like really really nice premium graphics and like all. I mean, that's how I felt. Like I would log in and it was like all these like, you know, I had to get all these tick boxes and there was like a
Right.
screen showing me all the shit that I needed to do, and it would reset daily, and you'd basically be incentivized to like do all this daily content, and it just feels like one of those kind of grinds. And I don't know, that's exactly like what mobile games do. You log in, there's a screen, it's like, oh, I need to do this and this and this and this.
I think that was
mean,
like they tried to keep you in the game. Like, you know, that I
Oh,
think
for
that's
sure.
a positive thing. It does suck that it seemed like I timed it one day
But it was-
for Lost Ark. There's 2 to 3 hours of PVE content to do per day, basically, and you were kind of done. Like,
But you feel like you would lose out. Like, I mean, you couldn't. The way I felt was like, if you didn't log in, you basically lose.
right, 100%.
They'd be like, and there was that whole fear of missing out. Like,
Yeah.
they're trying to abuse this reward loop where like the humans like you like had this compulsion to log in every day, and it's like, I don't like people. I want to log into the game because I want to log into the game, not because I feel like I'm going to miss out.
Right.
I guess.
Do you think NA
So
would
we're
like?
talking about
Go ahead.
okay. We're talking about the things for D4 that you'd want though. What about MMO qualities? Would you want it to borrow anything from WoW or these other games? You want it to be more massive?
I wouldn't
Do you
mind
like-
a central hub city. Like I wouldn't mind like a like you know, if it was like you could go around, you could trade, and you could all meet up and do shit. And maybe there's some world content where you could meet up and do like large scale shit. But it was kind of like that could just be another form of like side content / you know, in game that you could do, but it wouldn't be like the, you know, the focus. The focus would be like
Right.
the small instance combat. I totally wouldn't mind. I think hub worlds are fucking amazing. I think they could be a huge part of Diablo 4, say,
Right.
if they were to, you know, do it right.
Yeah.
Not like Lost Ark style though. Lost Ark is like that's an MMO with ARPG combat.
100%. MMORPG.
That's not an ARPG. Yeah, it's not, because they didn't have all the fun items and the cool loot and all the cool shit that ARPGs have. It was like, no, we're gonna make a somewhat balanced game, and these are the classes, and this is what they can do.
Enjoy the Island Hearts at all, or did you sort of like want to blow your brains out?
Well, going around collecting them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was kind of like catching Pokemon or something, right? Like it was satisfying to get as many as you could get, right? I mean, there was some things in Lost Ark that they could definitely steal and put into other MMOs. Like the whole boating system was pretty sweet, and going around and getting the island stuff. You hate it?
God, I hated it. Oh, it was awful.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So Fluff and I differ on this.
Sure.
He thinks that campaigns are a waste of time and that game companies should not develop campaigns. I like a good single player story campaign. So where do you fall?
I feel like
What
you
do you
need
think?
some lore. You need some shit to base things off. If there's no lore or campaign, then it's kind of like this. The depth of the game is, it's what it's not there, right? You need some deep lore with some cool cinematics that all those like lore buffs can get into, and then like if you kind of like want to look into it and be like, oh, so that's why that's like that. But I think it should be secondary, right? Because that's not what people play the game for, right? I mean, that's just like, oh, you play through it once.
Right.
And add some depth to the game. But I totally think it should be. I mean, the way the Path of Exile guys do it, for example, they just let some story guy just unleash and just make a story, and then they have to kind of like fit it around what the Path of Exiles guys. They say, oh, this is the mechanic we're doing, and you're going to make a story for it.
Right.
Which I think should be pretty much what they do. Not like they make a story and then they base the game around that story.
100%. And it's very evident that it was like the vice versa in Diablo 3, where it's like they made this campaign and then like Endgame was like an afterthought. It kind of seemed like.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Like, what do they expect? A Diablo 3 vanilla, what you just had to like go
They
to
had no
the
endgame.
campaign and farm it,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah,
That was
you
so.
farm.
That was like I don't know. What were they? How were they thinking? Like, I
Well,
guess they just did Diablo 2. They're like, oh, we're making an upgraded version of D2 or something.
Right.
And then that's what they didn't really try to innovate or anything, which is just not the way to do it, in my opinion.
It's crazy to think that like looking back that we played that so much. Like it's
Yeah.
just there was nothing there.
Farm
Vanilla
that free
Diablo.
over and
Yeah.
over.
What? I didn't do that. I played it for like 40 hours.
Oh well, damn.
Done.
There you go.
How much do you play for?
Vanilla. I mean, I honestly played from launch
A lot, I don't know.
until I 2 weeks before they made the decision to get rid of the auction house. I was like, fuck this. I'm done. I hate the auction house. I can't take it anymore. And I quit. And then like 2 weeks later, like, hey, we're gonna get rid of it. It's like, all right, I'll come back.
Okay, what was
Yeah,
your
it was-
motivating? What motivated you to play so much?
Like I had a lot of friends playing it at the time, and like I was like the most OP one of the group, and so like just carrying people, and I didn't stream at the time. I didn't know streaming was a thing at the time, but
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
the same. A group
And
of
selling,
friends, you
you
just
know?
played, killed
selling
stuff.
for like
Community.
money. Right?
Yeah, community.
Okay. Makes sense. I mean, that's why Blizzard push multiplayer games. I feel like that's what you could do, though, right? With the hub world and like ways to interact with other players, like lots of side shit, like cosmetic, like housing. Like I feel like adding all those like bullshit, random things into the game. It's like you can add in as many like side things as long as you're not forcing people to do it,
Yeah.
and it just adds depth to a game. As long, I feel like that's the way they should do Diablo 4 if they do it. It's like steal a lot of the elements from these other games and like
Yeah.
steal the fuck out of like the in-game systems. Like just literally just
Steal.
grab what
That's
PoEs
what they
Just
do.
steal
That's what
PoEs.
Blizzard
Yeah, I
does.
know.
So
Exactly.
Yeah, the Blizzard's philosophy on not talking and not communicating is the exact opposite of a lot of current developers like Warframe and GGG and these other companies that are making stuff. What do you think's right? Like I've heard. So we talked to David Brevik. We had him on, and he explained his side of it. Then I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense. Where he was explaining the quiet side, why they don't talk and don't tell us anything.
But he
But I
also
think as
said like,
consumers-
you
What
paid
are you
$40 for
saying?
this game forever ago. What do you expect? What do you need? Like he was
Yeah.
like gangster.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
Diablo 3?
Yeah.
I mean, if you buy an expansion, right? I mean, it just I just feel like that's kind of a massive failure by Blizzard's part if they can't make an ARPG that's replayable.
Yeah. But like they
Blizzard
had
need to
no
choose-
money to generate from it because they.
I
were
would
too
I would
forehead.
change. I mean, if they've made the money and like, oh sweet, that's us now, and they run off with their bags of money, then that's just a dick move, right?
But like historically,
maybe they need to
that's what they're gonna
monetize Diablo
do.
4 like with MTXs. Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
totally think it's that this is old meta. Like buying a game, like that's
Right,
old
yeah,
meta. Just do what
100%.
all the other games are doing. You know, just make it free, and then add in like a fucking store that is not like pay to win. It's just
Right.
cosmetic shit.
PoE, right?
People have opened
PoE
up to
or
that a
Fortnite,
lot.
dude.
I think
Or like
Fortnite
League of
kind of
Legends.
yeah.
Or whatever. All the popular games, like, just make it, not freemium, just like the free, literally, just with extra cosmetics, because people will fucking. I spent more money on Path of Exile than I have like times 10 than Diablo,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in their like annual or what is it, quarterly investor call, the guys were like, "Oh no, people will pay for our games, so like we're not thinking about the free to play model."
Yep.
There must be a good reason behind that. There must. There
Because
must
they
be
know
a
people will
reason.
pay for it, pay to play.
I mean, it almost sounded conceited. Like
It
we
did,
value our
yeah.
IPs. Like we're too good to make a free game. Like
Yeah.
people will pay
But
money.
isn't
for
it
our
more
shit.
profitable to do the other way? Like, I don't know.
I think, but
Yeah.
maybe they'll do pay to
Because
play
it's more
plus
of a risk.
cosmetics. Who knows?
Because if they release a game and it's complete ass, right, then they get nothing, I guess.
Right.
Whereas like with the free model, people have to like the
Like
game
think
to
of
buy the shit.
think of Anthem was free to play.
Yeah.
So
Well.
I didn't play that.
Yeah.
Or I don't know much about that. Is that the shooting game where you shoot
Yeah.
people?
yeah, it's the Iron Man suit fly around game. that
Okay.
BioWare made it.
What happened with that? Did they not make much money back?
It failed pretty
Yeah, they bombed
miserably.
pretty
It's
bad.
been one of the biggest failures that in gaming history, I think. So
Yikes.
it's supposed to be a live service, like people were comparing it to Destiny or some of these other looter shooter style live service games, and it flopped, man. Like it within if you go look on Twitch, it's got like 100 viewers or something. I mean, it's just dead in the water.
It's kind of like Blessed. You tried Blessed, didn't you? You remember that?
Well, Bless Online.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
That was
that.
awful. I refunded
Oh my
that
God.
shit, man.
Yeah, it's the only game I've ever refunded.
How did
Yeah,
you
I
get
mean,
it
that
to
was the
refund?
thing.
Who
Everyone was saying
refunded
you
you?
can refund it and get your money back. So I was like, oh, fuck yeah.
Bless refunded you? Who refunded it? I've never had a company
Steam or
offer to
something,
refund
wasn't
again.
Steam,
Oh,
yeah, bro.
shit. Oh man.
Do you
Nice.
know
That's cool.
the same company that makes Blessed also made the game that Diablo, is somehow affiliated with the game that it's like Blessed Online is associated with the Diablo 3 Immortal, or Diablo Immortal clone.
God damn.
Oh man.
Yeah, you go to Steam and it's like they're like linked together, bro.
Great.
It's
Yeah.
pretty
Did you
awesome.
see so the company made like a Fortnite clone? I don't know if you've seen any of those. It was like, what did they call it? It was like
It's Diablo Immortal. It was like I don't know,
don't
man.
remember.
It was like
It
they
was
even
bad.
stole the name. It was like
Yeah.
Fort something. It's like
It was
Was
awful.
it? Did it work?
I mean, it looked
Fort Builder.
okay,
It was like
but
Fort Builder or
it
some
was-
shit, and it looked just like Fortnite. I mean, same color scheme, same logo
Mm-hmm.
design, same font.
Why would you do that? Like it's so stupid. Like
But it was the same company that's making Immortal. So.
Fortcraft.
Fortcraft. There it is. Yeah.
wait, what? The same company that's making Immortal
Yeah.
is
Made Fortcraft.
Yeah.
Oh no!
And it looks
This
just
is-
like it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Maybe they were just targeting a China audience, I guess.
I think they're targeting mobile, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, was it mobile?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
mobile.
Well, there you go.
It's like, yeah. It was good. It looked really good.
I'm excited.
Doomed,
I'm
boys,
excited
we're
for it.
doomed.
Yeah, we are. It's one of the things that you mentioned before is like we're kind of the minority. It feels like we're becoming the minority. Like the PC kind of master race people, we're probably the minority going forward. So like the things that we're begging for, it's like, well, they care? The money's elsewhere.
It doesn't matter though, right? Like niches are proven to be successful, right? Like it doesn't matter. There will always be a niche. If the PC gaming is a niche, someone will fill that niche, right? Like, so what if Blizzard's like, fuck it, let's just go full mobile. We're just ditching, which I don't think they would. Then all that happens is there's a gap for another company to spawn and make, like a PC Master Race game.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll see with the new Path of Exile, was it 4.0? The one they're at PoECon, they're announcing some big expansion.
Right.
Maybe they got
Mega
some massive
expansion.
changes. Yeah.
Mega. Right.
And that,
He's been
yeah.
hyping that up so much. Like that better be so good, or I'm gonna be pissed.
Why would it not? Like that kind of like when PoE says mega expansion, that makes me think like, holy fuck. Because PoE
It sounds
like
like they're trying to make
content's
D4, right? Like they're basically saying like the new game, or that's what I feel like. When I
You-
say new game, like new engine,
new
kinda
engine, yeah,
shit.
but the same game. That's kind of what I. Right. I think it's gonna be huge. I think they don't undersell it ever. Oh, and that's another thing. So I know that you didn't necessarily love the new Synthesis League.
Yep.
What about it that just doesn't resonate with you?
Oh, the rewards were just fucking horrible, right? So every time you go to the synthesis, it would just feel like you're wasting your time, and you spend like all this time like setting up this like perfect thing, and then I remember I fully stacked before they nerfed it, like a huge grid of these squares, and they like the axis was so long that
Right.
it would like it was glitching off the screen, and I ran it, and it was just like I waited like a week building this up or something, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I ran it, and it was just like basically nothing was dropping, and it just felt fucking horrible. And then I was like, oh screw it, I'll go to a boss, and then I got blocked. Like an island spawned in between the boss and me, and I couldn't make it, and I had to go back. And then it was like I finally had enough pieces to go for the boss again, and like the bridges that were already laid out like started breaking, and then another thing popped up, and it's just like they clearly hadn't. It was so scuffed and so shitty. And then you like get all this loot drop, and you're like, okay, I need to empty my bags, and you use the portal, and then you couldn't pull it back.
Right.
It would say
Oh,
like
that's so
instance,
bad.
and it was just like like that for the first whole. Like I was playing a shit ton at the beginning,
Right.
just completely broken, and it was unplayable to the point where I was just like, I'm not even doing the mechanic anymore, and I just
Right.
stopped doing the mechanic. The time they finally fixed it, I was already bored of the leagues, and it's like they can't expect to release a game mechanic like that, a league mechanic like that, and it just be that fucking unplayable.
But I remember it's like I don't. So did you play Bestiary?
I never played Bestiary.
Okay. I remember that being like a lot more controversial. So I'm actually surprised that like I don't know if you know, but they decided not to merge Synthesis. Like they're not even going to merge it with the base game.
Yeah, I heard.
And to me, that's like what? I mean, Bestiary was way worse. I still think Synthesis is better than like Incursion and Bestiary. So like it's kind of
The
blows my mind.
crafting system of the game is, I think it's still cooked, isn't it? Like if you're playing solo software, and that crafting system's like almost useless.
I mean, yeah, like
trying to figure out how to do anything, and then if you
Yeah.
finally figure out, like you like go onto the internet and you like look up the combinations and you figure out exactly what you need.
right.
Like even then, it's like really hard to use. Like unless you're like a fucking nerd with a spreadsheet up, and then
Right.
you're using like trade, like you're just not gonna make anything with that crafting system. Whereas bestiary, at least it's like, oh, this changes my flasks. Oh, this is like that's kind of pog. Like you could make a belt, which could be a headhunter sort of thing.
Right.
It's I don't know. bestiary is like simple, but it's fun. Whereas Synthesis is like complicated and unfun. So,
I mean, like, so I'm SSF, and I got like an evasion chest, like 20% more evasion base. Like, it took me forever to get that, but it's like that wasn't too bad. So I mean, I guess I see what you're saying, and they did do a lot of fixes like over the course of 2 weeks. But yeah, like it can feel super unrewarding, and I get that.
That's the thing. You just can't have a mechanic. That's like one of the things you have to feel like you're getting value out of your time. If you don't,
Right.
if you feel like you're just wasting your time, that's the worst thing. Like I just spent all this time farming these pieces out and doing this shit, and it's like result is I've just wasted my time. That just leaves you salty, right? Or at least me anyway.
Yeah.
So you recently switched to console. I've seen.
Oh. No, dude, I absolutely hate consoles. Like,
No,
honestly, like,
Yeah.
how these console exclusive games even are legal is beyond me. Like, how they can just, like, literally, I got this game, which is made for the PlayStation 4. It runs at 10 FPS. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to go out and buy the new PS4, which is like the PS4 Pro. It's like
Right.
upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
Now it runs at like 25 FPS,
Woo.
which is just absolutely fucking pathetic, right? I'm playing at 25 FPS. And the only reason I bought this console in the first place is because of this exclusive game, which is just like, and if it had been on PC, or it would have had any of these issues. But, Sony paid this company like probably like 5 times as much as they could have got if they just distributed it to the rest of them. So,
Right.
and it's so annoying, right? And I hate consoles, hate them.
Is it
But
Bloodborne?
if
Is
you
that
wanna
what you're talking about?
Yeah, Bloodborne.
Yeah.
If you want to play
So how do you
Bloodborne,
like it?
How do I like Bloodborne?
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that it's on a fucking piece of shit PlayStation 4, no, it's a pretty good game. I don't know. A lot of people seem to be saying that it's better than the other games, like Dark Souls and.
So you played them all
Sekiro,
now. How would you rank them?
Right now, I would rank Bloodborne as probably the worst out of everything I've played.
Yeah.
But that's probably just because I'm playing at 30 FPS.
Sure.
And and I'm pretty salty about that.
And your sound's
it's
like scuffed too, right?
Oh, trying to get my sound set up for the PlayStation 4 is just insane. But
yeah,
it's one of these things. Until they make it literally illegal, which could happen. They did the same thing with cinemas in the past. They would cinemas would buy the exclusive rights for a movie, and then they would extort people and stuff. Right? But that's effectively what they're doing with consoles. So I could totally see it being put into law. No, you have to sell your games to the other platforms at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Which I'd be totally. That would just make things so much better because then you'd be competing to make the best platform possible, to make the best console possible, and not who can spend the most money buying the rights to this fucking game.
Sure.
So we're talking about illegal. Have you seen the loot box stuff? How do you feel about the loot boxes being banned? I know that's a big thing in the States right now.
Oh, did they ban loot boxes?
They're talking about it. They're legitimately talking about it.
I hate it, dude. Just like we were talking about before with Lost Ark, how it felt like a mobile game, and they're just trying to make you feel like you're missing out. Loot boxes are it's gambling. Yeah. For kids, right? And for adults. It's just they're just abusing human psychology to not because the game's fun. They're just doing it because it's a loophole in the brain. You get dopamine whenever you open up these boxes, and then you're fuck, I need to get more. So it's they just keep doing that. Mm-hmm. And I would love for them to just delete loot boxes. Just get rid of them.
Yeah, let you buy directly what you want. Give us what we want.
Wait, what? As long as it's not power increasing items.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. 100%. 100%.
But
people will pay crazy amounts of money. I mean, don't wings on PoE cost $40 or some shit? Kind of crazy.
Oh,
I mean, we have currency exchanges.
Have you seen the sets? The shit that I buy to get. What shirt have I got on? To get the ones, the shirt ones, it's $500, or or you can get even more expensive ones where you buy these stupid packs. But that's you do it anyway because you want to get all the you want to get the shirt, bro. I think there's a name for what they do. There's a name for that. The crazy premium packages. I've heard them throw this around. But it's certainly a lot better than loot boxes, 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure. How do you feel about everything in the game being tradable? Absolutely everything.
What versus soulbound loot?
I mean,
I mean, it's I'm fine with that. It's whatever. I play solo stuff most of the time anyway. So
sure.
If they want to tradie people want to trade shit, I mean, I get that's a huge thing.
But say there wasn't SSF and there was leaderboards. PoE would have a pretty big problem with pay to win.
I mean, you would funnel loot if there was a grader for leaderboard on PoE, and then you could trade, and there was no SSF. Then that'd be complete bullshit because everyone would just funnel one person and then they'd just have insane shit.
Right.
And they'd just destroy, right?
Right.
I mean, I guess I could abuse that as a streamer, but it's still bullshit. They wouldn't get rid of SSF though. There's a whole little niche community. And part of Exile is all about niches, so they just wouldn't do that.
I heard they were super reluctant about having this SSF.
It's just a fucking checkbox, mate.
I know.
It's just a checkbox. What the fuck?
Yeah.
If you don't want to click it, don't click it.
To me, I feel like SSF should have more currency, but never able to roll yourself into Trade League.
Oh, I see. So to make it easy to get chaos and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really care, right? Because it's as long as everyone else is getting fucked equally, I'm totally fine with that. Because think about it, it's like if they were to reduce, drop rates globally, it doesn't matter because it's the same for everyone, right? So if everyone's having a hard time with currency, then, that's fine.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. True.
So I don't think it really makes too much of a difference. I think the quality of life, being able to transfer your character across if you wanted to, was probably higher than getting a little bit more currency. It's kind of I guess the same. I kind of expected the same thing as you, Fluffy, when I started playing hardcore Diablo. I was like, okay, so what's the bonus? What's the what I get extra for playing hardcore? I thought I got extra experience or extra loot, but it's there's nothing extra. You just your character just dies.
Yeah.
And then once you understand what it's about, it makes sense.
At least in PoE, you die and it rolls over. That's one super positive I'd say about PoE.
You You get your Paragons in Diablo 3, so it's like a similar sort of thing, I guess.
Sure, but you get like that beautiful, perfect primal, and you die, and you're like, "Fuck this season,
Yeah,
I'm out."
You want to start hitting up some Twitter questions?
One more topic, so that
One
we
more.
don't necessarily agree on. Normalize PvP.
Awful.
Why?
Fucking awful. The worst, dude. The whole point of like PvP. If you want normalized PvP, go play fucking like a MOBA. Go play some other. Go play.
So
whatever,
really popular
Counter-Strike
PvP
1.6.
games.
Just play a game that's made for PvP. Yeah, if like the whole point of PvP, in my opinion, in ARPGs and MMOs, is to show off like the cock size of your character. And if like what happens the second you like go from being a god to like being a piece of shit the second you go PvP, like and like some fully dick character can lose to like a piece of like some guys just hit like max level that day, that's dumb. You should just destroy him. Like the guy with good gear should just destroy the pleb. That's the way I see it.
But like, so you're discouraging that play. So say you're brand new to a game, you're a little late to the scene, and you go in and like, I'm gonna do PvP, and you do like a 1-on-1, and the guy's just like standing there, and you're like missing him, and he's just typing lol in chat. Like that's your game experience.
That's fine. That's fine. That should incentivize you.
But it
inspire
incentivizes
you
him to be
wanna
that
go
guy.
out.
No, he's never gonna
Yeah.
play
He
again.
wants to be
Are you
that
kidding
guy.
me? Did you play WoW, bro? Back in the day, like Burning Crusade, man. When I saw these guys with all the sick loot, and I'm like getting absolutely just annihilated in Battlegrounds. I'm wondering like, what the fuck? Why did I get one shot? And then realizing, oh shit, they got this full set of honor gear. And then I went out and farmed all this gear, and then I started owning. And then I was like, oh, you can get this crate and cool loot from the Sunwell Plateau. And then you go out and you like farm these things, and it feels really fucking good. And that's what like RPG PvP is about, man. It's about like showing off your sick legendaries and your sick epics and your sick gear. If your gear becomes like fucking irrelevant the second you zone into a PvP instance, like that's just dumb. I don't care. They could try balance it a little bit, maybe like by putting resilience in or reducing burst damage, whatever. But like if your gear is made like just pointless, and some guy who's just at max level can shit on like a guy's been playing for like 10,000 hours just because he's better than him, fuck that, dude. No, the guy, the neckbeard should win.
But that's what PvE's for, in my opinion. Like PvP should be an even playing field. Like I'm out skilling you. You have 2,000 hours played, and that's why you're gonna beat me. Like that's crazy.
There's a real example of this that's just happened recently. So in Legion, everyone was asking for templates. Like, dude, this is some bullshit. Like these PvE guys coming in destroying us PvP guys, and all the PvPers were like advocating for templated PvP, which is basically like if you zone in and your stats are just set to it exact amount. And everyone has the same template. Like if you're a rogue, you have like fucking 20 agility, whatever. You got those are your stats, and then everyone plays the same, right? And everyone just hated it, including the competitive PvPers. And it was like this awful change, and everyone was raging, and they ended up reverting it, right? And that's just like an example of like how those systems work. They just don't. It's just not fun. People like to have like gear that they farm out, and then they go on with their big character and shit on noobs.
Yeah, but like as hardcore as you can ever be, there's always going to be that guy that's like he's even more hardcore than you. So like, and you're fine.
You just got to get the hardcore gear and then be better than them, right? Like if you want to get on that guy's level, like you have to farm that gear up, and then you have to go dick to dick and beat him.
It depends on the game too. You come from a FPS background, Fluff. Like you're used to Halo and those other things, and I think that even playing field matters in FPS a lot more. But I WoW PvP and vanilla and like I'm saying Burning Crusade and even Wrath, when you got that gear and you were smashing pub stomp in the battlegrounds, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
At the cost of other people's fun.
No,
they saw you doing it, and they're like, we want to get his gear. I want to get that stuff.
Sure.
Exactly.
And I like doing that too.
It's the best feeling. It's the best feeling.
I like doing that too, but at the same time, like I would play like Call of Duty as a pro Halo player, and I would like get 70 kills and like one death, and like it felt good. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm like, that guy is probably just quit. I just probably made him quit the game, and now I have less people playing the game that I like, and so like now we're at a disadvantage because like
He's
that
a pussy.
guy's
They quit. They're pussies.
like you want to maintain players.
No, it's like back in BC, back in Wrath, like if I had a pocket healer, I could go in and like we could just 1v10, right? We just go in and just fucking annihilate everyone with my sick gear and his sick gear. and it felt fucking great. And then you would occasionally encounter another combo when they're doing the exact same thing, and it was like a battle of the titans, right? And it was this kind of fun thing. But now it's like you go on with a healer, and you go with a guy, and like there's 10 people there. Just because of like balanced PvP in World of Warcraft, for example, and they've normalized the shit out of it. You can no longer go shit on 10 spurks. They can be like the worst backpedalers ever, but if they all like target you and press the same key at the same time, you will just die. And then if they have healers, they just never die. It's not a good feeling.
I get it.
You should be able to go out and get a big dick weapon and then use that weapon to go like bully noobs basically. That's coming from like a person who plays computer games all the time perspective though. But yeah, but the thing is, there's real examples of them doing this, and then how badly it's gone when they normalize it.
And of course, they can always have both, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it in rated shit. Like, I guess like some sort of tournament ladder thing. I'm okay with that. I guess. Like if there's a tournament going on that people are competing for money with, like some sort of balanced server, like an arena tournament realm or something. Like, I'm totally fine with that.
Is that how WoW is now? Like
Battleground.
Those high level like.
So you can use shit. You can use whatever gear you want. Basically, there's some shit that's just nerfed in PvP and doesn't work as well in PvP, but you can use pretty much whatever you want. But then once they go to like the tournament servers, it's all like everyone has access to the same gear.
Gotcha.
So everyone's the same, the same.
That's good. All right. Twitter questions?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's do it. Real quick before we do it though.
Oh God.
Quinn, I know you're a Game of Thrones fan. You can't. Not gonna drop spoilers. No spoilers. Okay.
Oh, dude, I'm really bad with that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't follow Quinn if you're
okay.
fucking watching Game of Thrones.
I'm a huge fan too, man. What that episode Sunday?
All the episodes.
This latest episode?
Yeah. How did you feel about it?
To be honest, it was probably the best episode of the season, in my opinion. Like, it was, but it was still like completely awful. But there's a couple like the Game Bowl, the fight between the Hound and the Mountain, pretty pog. It's cinematically pretty epic. Some of this, watching that dragon bust down that gate, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I just didn't like what they were doing with the character arts, like the writing, the lack of an explanation as to why.
You gotta cover
the dragon,
your ears, chat.
Yes, cover your ears. Spoilers.
Cover your ears. I'll wave whenever you can uncover that. All right.
Okay.
All right. When you see me
they
wave,
didn't even explain at all why Drogon just randomly, the dragon just fucking just destroy everyone. She just all of a sudden the scorpions just all miss and she can just dodge all the bolts.
Right.
That
didn't make any sense
out of
to me at all.
nowhere.
Why didn't they just do it at night? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I don't know. Then she just like goes mental and just commits mass genocide on a bunch of I'm just gonna burn all these kids to death. And I don't know.
Yeah.
10 years. My thing is 10 years of building up a character arc, and then in 1 hour, it's like, gone.
They led up to it, but they didn't lead up to it enough at all. Like, she had some shit.
They were showing like her. She was, she burned a couple of dudes to death, like, and she was like, starting to become unhinged. Like, all her advisors like died or like ditched her. But I mean, dude, to just randomly start killing fucking just mass murdering kids, not just like in a moment of rage as well. Like, I'm talking, she just went around for 50 minutes just fucking just killing everyone.
Right.
Like, a dragon must have been getting bored. Like, what the fuck? How long?
I don't have any fire left.
They're all cooked. We can stop.
She must have farmed fire forever.
All right. We'll stop spoilers. All right, guys. You can listen, even though I kind of waved my hands earlier.
Right.
Oops. So I'm like, Quinn, no spoilers. Let's talk about this.
My bad.
Impossible.
I told you I'm bad with that shit.
That's okay. I mean, all right. So if you guys are new to the podcast, we do a section at the end, Twitter questions, where you guys can ask us questions and we'll answer them live on the stream. So I collected some of those. You can tweet at ThaPChild, at Lord_Fluffy, or join our Discords and drop those questions every week. The first question we have this week comes from Maester Mages, and he says, for Quinn, what's the most interesting place you visited outside of your own country of origin?
Oh, shit.
Got a favorite spot?
I mean, dude, I haven't really been that many.
Yeah, how many times have you left New Zealand?
I've been to America a couple times. I went but Anaheim to go to BlizzCon. I've been to Germany to go to Gamescom, which was Cologne, and I've been to. I mean, maybe the most interesting place I went to is Australia, Cairns, place called Cairns, and just seeing it's just
What about like where Abby's
going around
from
England. Abby's from Scotland.
Yeah.
I went to Scotland. Does that count as a different? Yeah, UK.
Yeah. There you go.
Most interesting place. But Cairns for sure. Like there was just Aboriginal people everywhere going around the Aborigine tribes and stuff, and fucking just seeing like the Australians and how racist they were, and just seeing like this whole. I don't know. It was just so different.
Is that where the
That's what
puka
I'm used to
meme
anyway.
came from?
Pukana. No, Pukanas are from New Zealand, mate. That's a Maori thing.
Same thing.
Bro.
Yeah.
Do Maoris and Aboriginals?
Kidding.
Are you? Oh my god! Are you serious, bro? That's fucking racist stuff.
I'm not involved in this conversation. So Key-Ray says, this is kind of based on the loot boxes. It says, loot boxes for kids. You think the government has the right to regulate this, in your opinion? So I guess it's not if we like it or agree with it. You think the government has the right to do it, to step in?
I think they can do whatever they want, right? I think it's overall good stopping kids from developing gambling habits.
Um,
I agree. I think they should shut it down, personally. But
The government's role to
make a
do
thing,
that? I
make-
don't think so. But that's politics. That's weird.
I mean, I wish it'd be nice if people could just like hated it, like as a community, everyone just disliked, gambling for kids.
Just
and
stop
then
spending
it was
money on
out.
them.
Yeah.
But that's a
It's
slippery
kinda
slope
hard.
too. Like I feel like this whole social media craze for the Sonic the Hedgehog and like how they're gonna change him like again and like. So what point is it like you're hindering an artist's idea to be creative versus like exactly what the community wants? Like PoE is like we're not gonna merge synthesis because you guys hated it, but it's like well synthesis is still pretty good. Like when is it too much?
I like the fact if they listen to people and people aren't just spurging out for no, as long as they can listen to criticism that's like legitimate, I guess, and not just listen to any random spurg. Like if it's got enough weight to it, maybe. But I don't know. You see these people saying this insane shit on the internet. It's kind of. I feel like if they have people who are trained to listen to criticism and like actually pick up good. I mean, the Sonic the Hedgehog, he does look kind of freaky, dude.
He did for sure.
He did
Yeah,
look,
he
he
looked
looked
like
pretty
crap,
fucked.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like.
And I feel sorry for the artist,
Sure.
for,
Right.
Swarm says, would you guys play mobile versions of other games? Overwatch mobile, as an example. I don't have any interest in mobile game. I'll do it if I'm taking a crap. That's about it.
Why though? Like, why would you? I mean, I feel like the only reason I would ever play a mobile game is made a mobile game. And oh fuck, the example would be Pokemon Go. Because you got GPS in your phone, you got a camera, It's got augmented reality, it's got like all the shit. It makes sense. Pokemon Go
Sure.
on a phone makes
Yeah, it
sense.
was a
It's
fun
going to be the
game,
best
too.
possible platform
Right.
for the game. So, but to port games like into an inferior platform for fucking no reason, just other than to make money, like no, hell no.
Right.
Yeah.
I concur.
100%. Onion says, Quinn's thoughts on Synthesis League. I know it was controversial among the PoE community. I think we kind of covered that a little bit.
Sure.
So let's skip that. Jackson Jack says, for Quinn, what was your favorite build of all time in Diablo?
Favorite build. Probably one of the most satisfying builds to be good at was the Raiment Monk,
Oh shit.
like old school R6, where it was with the Jawbreaker. Where you just teleport around, just like dash. It was completely cancer to watch, and people would,
like Static
but-
Strike.
not many people could do it. So it was one of those things where I was like pushing past the softcore guys. Like I beat the softcore leaderboard on hardcore, because it was like a build that was totally reliant on how good you could spurg out with your hand, and I played it like 9,000 DPI. So it was like that was the key, dude. I didn't tell anyone, but that was the secret, is to having 9,000 DPI. So you could just spurg out with your hand, and you could just do ultimate dashes. Yeah, bro.
Damn. What about like
Tricks
Tricks come
technique.
out
speed
years later,
farming?
the
Like for
sequence.
like say Nephilim Rest or like high GRs. What would be your best or favorite speed farm?
Favorite speed farm? What do you mean a favorite? I mean, it's cathartic to go around with like a Samwuko monk that has an Endgame and just like press a button and delete the entire screen.
Right.
But it feels kind of bullshit. I don't know. I guess when Endgame was first put into the game, and you could just teleport around with dashing strike, and then just it probably would be like some sort of fire wave of light build because it's just chill as fuck. You just re-chat, teleport around, and just one shot everything.
How do you feel like? So I know you haven't been necessarily following the game per se, but so like Samwuku Wave of Light was a thing for a long time, and then Inna's got buffed, and then Inna's Wave of Light is like the next thing. And now it's the season of Lawn next season, so you get Lawn for free, and now it's going to be Lawn Wave of Light is going to be the build for monks. It's like you can't
Oh, it's stupid.
ever not play Wave of Light.
Is it fire wave of light?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, the thing is, if you understand, like, I mean, when people realize how it's like, okay, so the wave of light, like with fire wave of light, if you've seen the hit box of it, it's pretty much the entire fucking screen, right? And if you can hit like 4 times as many mobs as any of the other wave of lights or any other ability, you're doing 4 times as much damage. So if you can just pull the entire rift, like you're just doing more damage than any other build in the fucking game. So it's like clearly the AoE of the fire wave of light needs to be nerfed, but they're just not doing anything about it. Or they could not nerf they could just nerf the damage like heavily and make it a torment farming build.
Sure.
It's it's stupid, right? I don't think they should. They need to be like they're not adding any like legit content to the game. At least change the meta builds because that at least creates some sort of superficial content.
Yeah,
But
it feels fresh every season at least. Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Wave of Light for life.
Lord Fluffy asks,
Oh God.
what's your favorite Lord Fluffy build to play on stream?
God damn it! Wait, what? You asked yourself?
No, I asked you. That was my question to you. What's your favorite Lord Fluffy build to play on stream?
Oh, I'm retired. Okay, I see what you did there. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. I'm gonna straight up ban that. You know that my build emote of yours, it's banned on my channel now, dude. Like, it's such a toxic emote, dude.
So great. So great.
Oh man, Nate asks, what's your favorite drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic? I like
Me?
sweet tea. Do you have sweet tea in New Zealand?
Sweet tea?
Yeah.
I guess that we do. But what is that? Like cold tea? You mean?
It's like tea and you put sugar in it. That's
a lot of
sweetened tea.
sugar.
A lot of sugar.
That sounds like an NA thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, coffee, 100% coffee, just
Coffee?
instant coffee. What I'm drinking right now, you can see the tip in there. It's literally just instant coffee, just a tablespoon of instant coffee. You put the milk in first, mix it around a bit, then put the hot water in. About 70% water, 30% milk, no sugar.
Okay.
That's the play, man.
Yeah.
There it is. What about you, Fluff? I got sweet teas, mine.
Fuck, man. Non-alcoholic, probably Coke Zero.
No,
Coke.
it could be alcoholic, I guess, if you want it.
I'll do both.
Alcoholic or not.
Alcoholic. I mean, anything with like fruit in it, like a full banana. I love fruity drinks.
You like the banana?
Yeah, just
Got
a
it.
full banana.
Got it.
If that comes in my drink, I'm just happy.
All right, the last question. This is my question. This is what I ask. I'm going to ask every guest that comes on the show. Bacon or sausage?
Oh, my God.
Which one? There's a
Bacon.
correct answer here.
Why?
Bacon.
Why? How many things is how many different types of sausages are there, and how many different types of bacon are there?
No,
Are
you're
you
trying to
kidding me?
argue the
Bacon
man's
is
opinion.
just better, bro.
Bacon,
Like
dude.
bacon is.
Just
Are you
got
kidding
it,
me?
Bacon.
You literally just cut out so many different foods because you can't have sausage anymore. It's bacon.
Have you had a BLT, bro? Before?
Yeah, it's fucking.
Have you had bacon and eggs before?
Yes.
Have you had bacon with bacon?
You're not saying anything different. You're just saying bacon and
Just-
things.
Yeah, they
Bacon.
complement so many dishes. It's nice and it's got a lot of
Yeah, but think about
salt, and
sausages.
it's nice and meat.
Sausage,
Bacon.
Italian
Sausages are
sausage,
You can
I'm with you,
What?
bratwurst.
Quinn.
All
Good
you can do
minds
is put a
think
sausage
alike.
on some bread, bro. Like that's
Oh
it.
my god. Well, cool. Unsub.
Highlight of the podcast right there. We clip that for life. That's it, man. That's all the questions that we
Easy.
got this week.
Cool.
Easy peasy.
That's it.
So this is the
Sweet
1 year
ass, boys.
anniversary episode, man. Thanks
Yeah.
for
Thanks for
coming
being
in
on.
and
It was
doing
fun
this
being
one.
here.
Super
yeah,
awesome.
especially that was chill as.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be keen to get maybe if Diablo is relevant again in the future sometime.
Just had to
maybe,
sneak it
I'll
one
need
last
to come on
jab,
again.
didn't you?
I'm just saying, dude. Like when it's no longer a dead game. Okay,
Sure.
I'm
Yeah,
down
thanks.
to come on. Like if there's something happening, D4, maybe Diablo Immortal. You can do an Immortal podcast, perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know?
man.
Mortal
That'd be
Cast.
You actually are going to do a Immortal podcast.
Immortal
Oh,
cast. Oh, there it is.
I'm already the face of Diablo
Calm down.
Immortal, so it'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Cool.
All right.
All right. Quinn, tell people where they can find you at
Everyone knows where he's at.
Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Is it all just Quinn69?
So I don't really care about anything except my Twitter. Just my Twitter, dude. Twitter.com/.
It's so hard to farm Twitter as a guy. It's ridiculous.
Dude,
Quinn
you can't. No one wants to follow. Dude, I'm not even kidding. Like, I was looking at, you look at Twitter,
Yeah.
there's chicks on there, and they average like 100 concurrents, and they're like 40,000, followers on Twitter. It's just insane. Like, they farm. They farm. They're like, chicks are OP at Twitter.
How do you
But I don't think
farm?
they're
Any
super
tips
big
for
Twitch.
anyone trying to farm as a dude?
Farming as a dude, please tell me. Maybe cock pics,
Yep.
memes.
Sure.
Right.
Or that new filter you just put up there. It's more of those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Smart.
dressing up as a girl. That's
Yeah.
dude. That's a niche. The guys are actually doing. I don't know if you follow Sneaky on Twitter. He's actually beating the girl cosplayers now. He's beating girls at their own game.
Wow.
He dresses up as like it's.
Yikes.
It's crazy.
Cool.
Do you want me to,
All right.
like you need to
If-
show some, you need to show Sneaky on stream real quick.
Sneaky?
Actually,
All right.
I don't know if you can actually show this. I'm putting it on Discord, but I don't know if you're actually allowed to show this. At your own.
No, what?
Oh, wow.
That's a
He's
guy?
fucking
Jesus.
That's a guy, dude.
What the hell?
I'm looking at chat for the people who want to see in the chat. Anyway,
Oh, God.
All right.
Banned
I'm getting
instantly.
timed out, dude.
It instantly just got pulled out.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
All right. Well, it was easy.
That's it, boys. If you guys want to find more of me, you can search at ThaPChild on all the platforms.
Yeah. And I'm Lord_Fluffy, double those underscores on the Twitter. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.